在一个安静又舒服的午后，7岁的汤姆在厨房里。On a quiet and comfortable afternoon, 7-year-old Tom was in the kitchen. 阳光照进厨房，落在琉璃台上，玻璃杯闪着亮亮的光。Sunlight streamed into the kitchen, landing on the countertop, making the glass sparkle. 汤姆想自己倒杯水，但杯子对他的手来说还是有点大。Tom wanted to pour himself a glass of water, but the cup was still a little too big for his hands. 水刚流进杯子里，杯子晃了一下。As the water began to pour in, the cup wobbled. 啪！杯子掉到地上，碎成好几块，水洒了一地。Crash! The cup fell to the floor, shattering into pieces, water spilling everywhere. 汤姆整个人停住了，低着头看着地板，不敢动。Tom froze, staring down at the floor, afraid to move. 那是父亲最喜欢的杯子。It was his father's favorite cup. 父亲走进厨房，先看地上，再看汤姆。His father walked into the kitchen, looking at the floor first, then at Tom. 他没有立刻说话，只是蹲下来看了看汤姆的手。有没有受伤？ He didn't speak right away, but knelt down and checked Tom's hands. Are you hurt? 汤姆摇摇头。Tom shook his head. 父亲点点头，站起来，拿来扫把和抹布。His father nodded, stood up, and brought a broom and a cloth. 来，我们一起收拾。Come on, let's clean it up together. 碎玻璃被慢慢扫起来，水一点一点擦干。The broken glass was swept up slowly, and the water wiped away bit by bit. 厨房又恢复成原来的样子。The kitchen returned to how it was before. 汤姆坐在椅子上，手还紧紧抓着衣角。他抬起头，小声问：“你不生气吗？” Tom sat on a chair, gripping the edge of his clothes. He looked up and asked softly, "Aren't you angry?" 父亲停了一下，想了想。His father paused and thought for a moment. 我有点生气，但我选择温柔。汤姆没有完全听懂，但那天晚上他睡得很安稳。Tom didn't fully understand, but that night he slept peacefully. 好多年过去，汤姆长大了，成了一名艺术家。After many years had passed, Tom grew up and became an artist. 午后的工作室很安静，地上铺着画布，颜料还没干。The studio was quiet in the afternoon, canvases spread across the floor, the paint still wet. 那是一件他花了好几个月完成的作品，线条刚完成，颜色还很新。It was a piece he had worked on for months, the lines just finished and the colors still fresh. 父亲年纪大了，走路慢了，手也不太稳。His father was older now, walking more slowly, his hands less steady. 父亲想走近看看，却不小心踢到了颜料盘。His father stepped closer to take a look, but accidentally kicked the paint tray. 颜料洒在画布上，颜色混在一起，画面一下子变了。Paint spilled onto the canvas, the colors mixing together, changing the painting at once. 父亲站在那里，有懊恼，也有等待责备的不安。 His father stood there filled with regret and the fear of being blamed. 汤姆站在旁边，那个画面对他来说有些熟悉。Tom stood nearby, and the scene felt strangely familiar to him. 他先走过去，扶住父亲。He walked over first and held his father. 先坐下，地上滑。Sit down first. The floor is slippery. 他让父亲坐好，才回到画布前。After helping his father sit, he returned to the canvas. 画已经不一样了，颜料慢慢扩散，线条变得模糊，原本的构图消失了。The painting was no longer the same, the paint spreading, the lines blurring, the original composition gone. 汤姆没有立刻收拾，而是站着看了一会儿。Tom didn't clean it up right away, but stood there looking for a while. 然后他拿起画笔。Then he picked up his brush. 他顺着颜料流动的方向改了一点线条，让颜色延伸出去。He adjusted a few lines along the flow of the paint, letting the colors extend. 颜料变得更厚，画面也变得更自由。The paint grew thicker, and the painting became more free. 那不是他一开始要画的作品，却开始有了另一种样子。It wasn't the painting he planned, but it began to take on a new form. 几个星期后，这幅画被放进画廊。A few weeks later, the painting was displayed in a gallery. 有人停下来看了很久，也有人询问价格。Some people stopped to look for a long time, and others asked about the price. 那天，这幅画卖掉了，价格比汤姆原本预期的高很多。That day, the painting was sold for much more than Tom had expected. 回家的路上，父亲坐在副驾驶座，看着窗外说：“那幅画真的很好看。” On the way home, his father looked out the window and said, "That painting is really beautiful." 汤姆点点头。Tom nodded. 那天下午的选择成就了一幅新的画作。The choice made that afternoon became a new painting.